Greetings and salutations, travelers. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. We are on session 40 of Rise of the Runelords. Thank you for coming. A quick disclaimer. This is an adult podcast featuring some adults that use adult language. Parental discretion is advised.
Thanks, Dad.
Which
The
one of
Pathfather
us
has
are
spoken.
adults?
Yeah. Right. Oh, Patreons for both the Inn of Planar Crossroads and Black Dragon Gaming, where you can find Tommy and all of his content, especially about Pathfinder 2nd Edition, is right over there on Patreon. You just search either of our names in that, and it will be there. Also, you can check in the description below if you wish. I believe we have both that I put in there. Like I said, this current session is session 40. We named them afterwards, so can't tell you what the name is going to be. The next subscriber appreciation is going to be at 200. We are at 140 something subscribers now, so we're not too far off. We're close to halfway to our next one, because last time it was 100. Now we needed 100 more, so we're getting pretty close to that halfway mark. And Colin will be running that one. Kane ran the last one.
That's just
Colin will be running
excuse me.
Wait. I didn't sign up for this. But yeah, we're at 145, I'm being told. So we are this close to being halfway to where we need to be. Anyway, halfway to what we need to get. We've already gotten almost half of what we need. Colin will be running it, and it's kind of it'll be a fun one, a different type of one. One that you can put some characters in that you may not have been able to put into a regular campaign, but that will be up to Colin. This month's giveaway, I need to have this out instead of just opening up my drawer every time. This month, we'll be giving away our Vivek statuette from the Morrowind game that came out. We're giving one of those away this month, and then we'll give another one away later on in the year. But Vivek is a pretty interesting part of the tribunal in Morrowind, if you are familiar with the game, so it's pretty cool to have a little pop vinyl of him. That's for people at the giant tier in our Patreon on the Inn of Planar Crossroads. Kane's one-shot that he did has finally started to be edited, so we've got part 1 and 2. I don't know if there's any other parts, but we'll get part 1 and 2 up as soon as we can. 4. Oh, there we go. There's 4 more. There's 4 parts total, so we'll be getting it up piece by piece.
Yeah, you get it by Christmas.
It won't take that long, thankfully. All I've got to do is, because he's releasing it as a podcast, not as a fully rendered video recording, so
I just thought putting them in like hour and change pieces would make them more consumable.
There you go. Final announcement, we're going to be some of us will be at the St. Louis Comic-Con. If you want to come and see us, that's going to be at the St. Charles area, right there by St. Louis. So, there you go. Go to the Facebook page if you want to get a ticket, though. It's the easiest way to direct you to the proper part of the website. And that's it. Tommy, do you have anything you would like to talk about before we begin the game?
I do. As it's been said for a million bajillion years, it feels like now, over at Black Dragon Gaming, we are running our Doomsday Dawn Adventure giveaway. It ends on July the 2nd. If we can get our Patreon up to like $150 a month, give or take, I'll run a 6-man party through the first ever published Pathfinder 2nd Edition adventure, which I'm really, 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 really stoked for. And I really hope we can get the patronage up to do that. So I'm not just like, well, here's a copy of the book. Thanks. No, we got to hit this adventure because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Other than that, yeah, just like and subscribe, both of us, for videos. A lot of big stuff's going on at Black Dragon Gaming right now. The subscriber count has been pretty big today in terms of how far it's going. So I'm probably going to be a little bad at role playing because I am too excited. But nevertheless, let's get down to business.
Coolio.
All right.
Anthropos Teleos.
Oh, Mal made it.
Yes.
Yes.
With his sweet hat.
I promise I didn't commit any truancy, which is a lie because I totally committed truancy and just came home.
Hey, it's snowing there. It's snowing there. It's cold. The buses might not be running. I mean, you had to do it just to be
I can't
safe.
be expected to learn when it's precipitating. Are you kidding me? What?
And by precipitation, for those people below the border, he means snow.
And lots of it.
Hey, we get a lot of
Lots of
snow in Missouri too.
No,
Just
like
not
this,
in
like,
March.
like piles of snow.
Do you have the term whiteout?
Yeah, we
Okay,
totally
okay.
do.
Yep.
Fair enough.
We have a term called snowpocalypse as well, but I imagine that's just a day in the life for you guys.
Here's the thing. I don't think
Depends
we
on the
have a
week.
whiteout. We're still expected to go do stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you remember before, Tommy, when you asked me if I had ever had a snow day from school? I'm still pretty sure that's not a real thing.
And I
No,
had the
we
whole
don't.
month of January off once when I was
We
16
don't.
because it was icy.
If you don't come in because it's snowy, the teacher's like, screw you. I had my dog pull me here on a sled.
Our vice principal pulled donuts in an icy parking lot once on his way in.
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right. This has nothing to do with our current game, actually. Aside from the fact that the players are coming off of a blizzard, or the PCs are.
I was going to say, I thought it was snowing. If anything, it's completely applicable.
There you go. You guys made it through winter week as the PCs, and you stayed in and you kind of just chilled out. You were basically snowed into Sandpoint proper for most of the time, though Nahkräs and Shilelu, the elven ranger, actually did go out and scout around. There were some downtime things that happened last time. We took care of those. So if you want to see what those were, you can go back and look. I do encourage everybody that hasn't watched episode 39 yet to watch episode 39, at least the last portion of it, like the last 20 to 15 minutes is important because it has developments for Emmy's character, mainly that Emyrelda found out that she is Prego. So
Yep. Well, now they don't have to
yeah.
watch the last 15 to 20 minutes.
Like the
You
pasta
saved them.
sauce.
No, but you need to still watch the last 15 to 20 minutes to get Mal's shadow dance in because it was real good. That should have been put
Yeah.
on the gag reel video too.
Pretty proud
hey,
of
we
it.
should, yeah, we got to have somebody. When we get big enough and we can do this like at least part time, we'll re-go through lots of different episodes and just start releasing a bunch of gag videos of us, like 1 to 2 minute videos.
Hours and
All right.
hours and hours of scouring old videos at double speed.
Takes half the time if it's double speed, I suppose. I mean, we've only been playing for what, a collective hour rate of, if each of them, we're at 40 sessions and each of them is 3 hours ish long. Yeah, plenty of time. Hundreds,
Yeah.
over 100 hours. So there you go.
Wow. Yeah, it's already been over a year, by the way, which is awesome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, bang up. Good job, guys. I'm especially
It is an accomplishment to keep
Yes.
a group together for over a year.
Yeah, it
especially
definitely is.
impressed with you, Kane. Kane,
Yeah?
I'm impressed with you.
Oh, yeah? You're impressed with me, Mal?
With your record of skipping things and not showing up for things and not having your character sheet or dice.
Yeah, or not owning a character sheet? Mal?
I'm super impressed with your being able to have a printer in your home,
Don't
Yes,
keep
they are.
digital
not
copies
including
or
this
anything.
one, which doesn't work.
So salty.
Doesn't work.
All right. Let's get on with this. So we're going to let's cut into a really juicy bit. How about when Emmy, it's that night after you found out. Magpie's right there with you. You're both turning in.
Okay,
Hold on, let me get my percentile dice ready.
so nothing really happens. She just sort of goes to bed. She seems quieter than usual, but
Okay.
she doesn't really say anything. About halfway through the night, though, she is up and she's at her desk and she is writing. All the while, she has one hand sort of twirling in the background, and she's saying a variety of different magic words. And there's just sort of some weird stuff going on with prestidigitation and a few other cantrips. She's got dancing lights going, but they seem to sort of be flickering, almost almost at a strobe pace. I don't know
Okay.
if Magpie wakes up for this or not.
I feel like that's a very heavily penalized perception check.
His eyes flicker open for a moment and then they flicker back shut because he's not having any of that.
All right. Well, your perception is pretty high, so let's see what you get.
29 before the
That's
minus 20 for being asleep.
is it minus 20 for being asleep?
That is
Tommy?
correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 10 or 20.
Oh, well, that's a big difference. Thanks.
Yeah. Either way, I don't
So-
think it'd be that hard to miss some bright lights strobing and random things moving around, floating, stuff like that.
So we'll say that it's enough. It's probably bright enough to be shining outside the window, and outside from underneath the door, and stuff like that. So Magpie does notice that Emmy is still awake. Oh, it's minus 10 for being asleep? Yeah, you totally notice.
It sort of feels like those lessons from when she's been teaching you to shadow dance. Throw sticks.
Oh, I got in too late. Damn it.
There's cats. Emyrelda, you're still awake. What are you doing? What's with the little disco show?
She seems not to notice and just continues to write.
So in Magpie's mind, she is strangely zoned out, twirling magic behind her.
Well, I'm going to do what you're never supposed to do, and I'm going to walk up behind her and put my hands on her shoulder. Never wake a sleepwalker.
That's actually just a myth. There's no problem waking up.
Yeah, I know. I just...
What they were referring to as White Walkers.
Yeah, never wake a White Walker.
Yeah, but do
Winter
they
is
sleep?
coming. We don't know.
Never White Walkers wake.
So,
Walking to awake.
as you are doing so, do you at all look at what she's writing? Because she...
Well, he probably looks over your shoulders as he puts his hands on you.
Okay. She notices she's actually in the middle of writing out a very dark poem, and so I'm just gonna read to you what's there because I made sure to get this out just before we started.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I wanted to do it right before we started because I knew that she was going to be writing in the middle of the session.
All right, make me all depressed and shit, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck my world up.
The first half seems as though the ink is been dry for a while, like it was written a while ago, but the second half of it seems fresh. I remember the night as clear as void glass. As you threw me around, I knew what you wanted. I tried to stop you. My teeth sank into your arms, but I couldn't. You threw me to the ground and fear took hold. With a blink of my eyes, you were dead. It was over. And that's the part that's dry. Fresh is now there is another. I let him in, but I am afraid. Even as I bear his child, I don't want him to know that I killed you, lest he fear me as I fear you, and those who remind me of you. But now his hand is upon my shoulder. He reads what I have wrote. He knows. Period. Clothes.
Is this like an idle hand scenario? You're gonna fucking kill me now? Jesus.
Thanks, Magpie.
It was fine right up until the last two lines, and I was like, I'm sorry, excuse the fuck a minute of me.
Jumbie wants to be born. Jumbie wants to be born.
Child? Who's my child? That's not possible. What is this? What is this, like a period piece? Are you taking commissions now?
She is very heavily crying. Like as she finishes the poem, she'd been tearing up before, but now she is like crying out loud. It seems as though all the magical effects that have been going on have stopped, and she just sort of has her head down in her arms, and she's crying.
Oh no! Oh God! He's like, I don't know. He hugs you, and he's sort of like, because he's a bird, he starts to like coo gently to calm you down because he doesn't really know what to do.
You're supposed to touch the hair.
Touch the hair. She's all
Ever
hair.
so gently hair.
She's all hair, bro.
Touch the all of her.
Oh, another thing to note, she was transforming as she was writing back and forth, but that's stopped now as well.
He got so embarrassed he left. Yeah, you were transforming back and forth. Sorry.
Yeah, she sort of looks up, wipes the tears from her eyes. She grabs Magpie's hand, sort of puts it on her belly. You're gonna be a father, Magpie.
Here comes the percentile dice. That's a 6. He faints.
That is not where I thought that was going.
That's awesome.
So it's like
Magpie, Papa Pie, Magpie.
She is
More
going
like
to
Meg Pops.
very quickly make sure to put on her her muleback vest so she can pick up Magpie and put him back in bed.
all right. So Magpie's faint, I think, was worth the intro of telling Magpie and having Emmy do so.
And
So
afterwards,
we are going to
oh, I wasn't done yet.
afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards, she makes sure to get fully dressed. It's probably getting close to morning-ish, but not quite there.
Okay.
She knocks on Amiko's door.
Okay. You hear a who is it?
It's
Does Gideon
it's
answer
me,
the door?
Emmy. Is it okay if I borrow your kitchen real quick? I didn't want to
Sure,
use it
dear.
without asking.
Sure.
Okay.
Little buddy's gonna she's already started up the fires, I think. Oh, means I need to get up. Gideon, get off for a minute. And then she starts
Um,
to you hear her started getting dressed in there.
Just a bunch of
Heavy,
dudes pretending to be women.
I was just thinking of the last time you said that, Kane.
Last week.
Ever
Yeah.
applicable in every scenario, really.
Welcome to
So-
Pathfinder.
Couple minutes later, Emmy's downstairs, and everyone who's awake can smell bacon.
Sounded like some horror movie shit.
Yeah.
That's what you hear from Wayko's room.
Yeah, yep. That's what you hear from Wayko's room.
Followed by
And
like
they're
several
storming down.
And then
this-
followed by a of him going down the stairs.
Yeah. He's still like half naked, so he's like got his something draped
Got his
around
hat on, but he's still
nether
working
regions.
on the pants.
He's got his hat on, but we don't know exactly where the hat is.
Henryetta, give me an egg, Henryetta. Give me an egg. Give me quickly.
I should probably point out that Nahkräs,
This is more
Nahkräs
important
doesn't
than
say the Rusty Dragon. Nahkräs sleeps in the stables. So if if Emmy's trying to get the party together, he's not here.
Can't
Okay.
smell bacon over the
She
smell
is
hole.
not necessarily trying to get the party together. She is humming a song, though, as she is cooking. Wayko can probably hear this coming from the kitchen. You hear.
Oh, I'm making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Okay,
Yup.
deal.
Bacon pancakes.
I'm
Bacon
down.
pancakes.
For some bacon pancakes.
Bacon pancakes.
Bacon pancakes.
Bum, 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 bum.
I wish Emmy was real and she was the kitchen right through there so I could get some bacon pancakes.
And so
Alright.
Emmy, she comes out. She's got some bacon pancakes ready, and she's got like a big stack of bacon pancakes, like a big one. She sees
Big one.
big stack of bacon pancakes. She sees Wayko there. Goes,
He's sitting nonchalantly at the end of the bar, just like, I see you
Oh.
have some pancakes.
did you want some? I might have to make more.
I would like 100. Or maybe just one to start.
So off of her stack of probably, I'd say 7 to 10 pancakes,
That's more than enough. You've brought the witch great joy to the witch.
she gives Wayko one, puts the rest on her plate,
Yes.
drizzles it with syrup, and
Maple syrup.
proceeds to, maple syrup, proceeds to start eating.
Who needs monster encounters when you can just have pancakes imaginarily?
And there's your title.
Imaginary pancakes.
Who needs
Oh, yeah.
encounters when you can have
Uh,
pancakes?
Yeah.
All right. So the nesting instincts have clearly started to set in for Emmy. We're going to. I was a little confused on the timing. Emmy and Magpie during the week had got with me about, well, Kane and Colin had got with me about Emmy and Magpie getting married at some point, but I'm not sure. I would think that Emmy would want her different sets of parents to be there, but we will see about that. There was talk about Emmy and Magpie taking a trip, kind of moving on, teleporting or whatever they needed to do over to the Elven Kingdom where her elven parents are. So that kind of comes to pass, but we'll get to that in a moment.
I was gonna say stuff happens first.
Yep,
that's gotta happen.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, you guys had, like we said, about 40 days to get everything together. We're going to go in, and everybody knows now. It's been about a day or two, so everybody knows about. Everybody that you want to know about Baby Bump knows about Baby Bump.
That is,
and
that's pretty much the party, and she's very clear that she wants to keep it on the down low.
Does she want to tell any of her old troop mates?
Likely one or two of them, the ones she's closest with, but she's also asking them to keep it quiet as well.
Okay, so
does she make it out to the party that she's going to be leaving?
You said it's been 1 or 2 days, right?
Yes. Let's say everybody has a sit down and they discuss a few things.
Okay.
As far as that goes. So
family business.
Yeah.
So she makes it clear that she does intend to leave for a little while, but she does want to have a small wedding ceremony with Magpie first. If she would have talked to him about this beforehand.
Shotgun wedding.
Gideon's holding the blade to your back.
This is not a good time for Colin to be gone.
Colin,
do you Emyrelda
Magpie up?
Well, she has to now.
Come on, this was your idea.
I'm back again.
Good. This is a big moment for you. You can't just take off.
I disappeared. And there's an extra me here for some reason. Nope, I'm gone.
Bye, Colin.
So the idea is that she gets married before heading off to the Elven Kingdom, and it's sort of going to be a surprise to at least the mom and dad. I don't think she can get word out to Mama and Papa beforehand because she wants to get there quick.
I've definitely written that letter for my parents then.
Yes, and you anything that you guys wanted to go in and out of Sandpoint has been able to go in and out of Sandpoint over these past couple days. So while you're still got heavy snow outside, it is perfectly traversable on the roads now. So.
Okay, so she's gotten a letter going out to Mama and Papa, but not to Mom and Dad so far.
We're just gonna show up at Mom and Dad's house. Hey, I'm Prego. This is my new husband.
Team Love and Varisia.
Every suburban family's dream.
Oh yeah. So when mention comes up of Emmy and Magpie leaving, Nahkräs is going to make it really clear that either Nahkräs is going as well. If there's conversation of a teleportation happening, he will be teleported as well, or he will go out into the wilderness and find you because you are pregnant. And Hemlock wants Nahkräs to protect the party, and now there's a child involved. So that's where the intention shifts. Gideon and Mazus are more than capable of protecting themselves, and Wayko has an army of cinnamon buns.
An army or a baker's million?
I appreciate it, Nahkräs, but there's no way I can bring you.
Where are you going?
Magpie's in the back, like, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Don't let him know. He'll bring that fucking cat with him.
I don't want a cat on my honeymoon.
I'm returning to my parents' house in Arsmarel.
God damn it!
Adam, do I know where Arsmarel is?
You were trained by
an elf,
an elven druid. So
yeah,
you probably heard of it. Never been there. Okay. Probably heard of it.
Okay, then I shall inform Emmy. I know at least I have a vague idea of how to. How far is it from Sandpoint? Here we go again with that discussion, I guess. But
you got the map behind you, dude.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's on the map.
It is on the map. It's in Varisia.
Damn it.
Northern Varisia.
So far. Well, regardless, if Nahkräs isn't part of the teleportation, Nahkräs will make his way across the wilderness, and he'll still get there probably before the kid comes out. So
she's
you guys
warning him that he cannot, if he shows up, he will be taken hostage.
Why?
Because outsiders are strictly forbidden in the forest. The only reason I can bring Magpie is because him and I are getting married.
Outsiders in the forest? The forest. And I'll like draw my sword, not like aha, but like draw my sword and like present it up like this. I am a green faith druid. They'll let me in.
If you think a bunch of elves are going to let you in,
Where do you think I got
elf in the
this?
forest.
And he'll spin his elven curved blade around.
She definitely recognizes that.
Indeed. And
She-
you're not sure.
My archdruid was an
Uh,
elf. I don't speak the language of my people, and I'll say in Sylvan. I speak Sylvan. I have a pass.
So Adam was saying something's happening.
Indeed. So what you guys are having this while you guys are having this conversation, like we said, it's been a couple days. Not a heavy rider, an express rider. There we go. An express messenger gets to your inn. Gets to the inn and starts asking Amiko about you guys. Now Amiko's, trying to head stuff off, but Magpie and a few others kind of hear that their names mentioned, like Gideon and Mazus and Aaron have their names dropped by this person that is talking to Amiko by the bar.
If Gideon's in the room, he'll make his way over.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna go over there. All right.
Well, because he's probably not a part of the conversation of Nahkräs saying he's going, because he's just like,
Yeah,
Oh,
Mazus will shift with him. Just.
Just nope.
Nope, we're good.
I mean, we'll tell Nahkräs that he's welcome to try and make his way there, but she is not going to teleport him because she does not want to be responsible for it. She's
So
done
be it.
enough damage as is.
I leave immediately.
Okay.
Okay. So, Nahkräs leaves immediately. You see, everybody sees him go phew, out the door. It has been said,
Next week?
so it shall be.
on it, Rise of the Runelords, Tommy plays a new character. I mean,
Nahkräs gets wrecked by
Wait,
like
what?
20 standpoint devils.
No, this is when Emmy is like, well, that was easy. We're not going there.
Psych! So at the bar, you hear Gideon kind of comes up and he hears Amiko exchanging words with this person saying, I'm sorry, but you can just leave the message. There's no reason to be worried about getting it to them. No, we don't understand. I have to get it right to them. That's what I was told.
I recognize that voice.
Gideon of the Iomedaeans, and I have to get it to Gideon, and I have to get it to who else was it? Mazus of Sandpoint, Aaron of Sandpoint. I believe they do reside here. It says Rusty Dragon Inn, does it not? Yes, Rusty Dragon Inn. But we like to have our patrons be able to have some privacy, so you'll understand if you can just leave it here. No, I can't leave it here. It is from the Lord Mayor.
when he says that, I will walk up and very much appreciate Amiko. My name is Gideon.
She kind of pats
How
her
can I
hand
help?
and she leaves, and she says, "All right," and goes off.
Yeah, we don't need our privacy at this very moment, it seems.
Emmy's gonna make her way to the theater to introduce Magpie to some shadow dancers, I suppose.
Nice.
All right. Well, you're on the so you're on the trip to the theater.
And she
while
is flying
Gideon-
there, interestingly enough.
Ooh.
She has some, she sort of sprouts a pair of wings with spells she casts, and there's stars in them. They sort of reflect the night sky, even though it's daylight out.
Shiny.
She's burning a spell slot for this trip. I mean, just right over there, across town.
My God, you get more beautiful every day. So I guess I'll fly too.
That
you
was
see
all
little
we just wanted to show off the Magpie.
Right.
Shimmering, shining.
Standard.
Right. How can we help you, sir?
Well, the Lord Mayor wanted me to deliver this letter specifically to you and your group. Just listed off some names and said I had to get it to you directly.
And so
Right.
you've arrived?
Yes. Here you are. And he hands you a rather kind of, it's not thick letter, but it's on good paper that's wrapped in another stronger bit of paper. Very official looking letter. And
Is there a seal?
it is still sealed. Does look sealed, so you can always find out. The letter itself seems to contain an invitation to return to his mansion, preferably with Wayko and the others, so that you guys can be. It says it in official language, but you can tell he's wanting you guys specifically. He's saying that there is that the Black Arrows over near Turtleback Ferry. I believe it's Turtleback, not Turtleback, but I will check.
Turtleback.
Turtleback Ferry and the fort that is right there have not responded, and the investigative, the kind of in questions and stuff they've been asking thus far haven't been returned. Probably he kind of makes it sound like they don't return messages all the time, but this is a kind of long period for there to be no reports back on the general condition of the area, and he's wanting you specifically to investigate it. And he says, please come to Magnamar post haste, and payment will be provided before leaving.
We just got back here, man.
No, that was
Oh,
40 days
yeah.
ago. Payment up front is always appreciated.
There you go.
You may return to your master and let him know that we shall be along shortly to his summons.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. I'll get a fresh horse and I'll be out to let him know about that.
If I may.
I travel in this cold.
And Gideon will actually produce the letter he was going to send to the Iomedean Temple. And in regards to letting them know about the encounter with Nawalia, the request for aid in Sandpoint from this potential issue. And he'll actually open it quickly, make an addendum that he'll be over to pick up the notes transcription when he gets to Magmar.
Okay.
Do treat yourself with a warm drink before you leave, though.
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of on duty type thing.
Gideon
just
will-
smile. Yes, I will.
Gideon will hand him a gold for his trouble and grab him a mulled wine for the road.
Oh, well, thank you. Said you're such a good, generous chap indeed. I quite like these Iomedeans. And he starts to go outside.
You always spoil them, Gideon. Gold is far too much.
You know what they say, more bees with honey than vinegar.
You catch more flies with honey, but you catch more honeys being fly.
Words of wisdom from the wise.
Nice.
All right. So Nahkräs decided to head off by himself and go towards the druids to kind of get an impromptu understanding of his journey. They really don't recommend traveling in the winter by yourself. They can only escort you so far. You might be able to send word for other escorts to help you.
Okay. I'll take
Um,
whatever help there is they can offer.
They don't suggest going to there.
Are they do they outrank me? And or like do they order me
Yeah.
around?
They don't order you around. Green Faith doesn't quite work that way. And as far as rank goes, you know that they're your elders.
Okay.
But they said if the one that is leaving is teleporting, they won't have need of protection. It will be the others that will need the protection. Because in those elven kingdoms, she's very unlikely, especially if she called it home, to be in danger. A fox in its den is at its safest.
Okay. I was trying to decide how Nahkräs feels about this. Moral quandary. Pregnant woman. Scary monsters that don't care about elves and can probably just eat through them, probably.
So you think about that.
Mhm.
The Shadow Dancers are in. In fact, they've been doing very well. The production company has been making great strides, especially in being able to perform the works of a certain poet that Emmy likes so much.
Wilmington Silver Spear, I think, is what I called him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Wilmington Silver Spear, and in commemoration of your particular bun in the oven, as it were, they give you a copy of his compiled screenplays.
Ooh, she is.
So there you go.
She is very excited about this.
I
I'm
suppose
sure
Magpie's
Magpie is
looking at the,
equally excited.
He's looking at the shadow dancers like, that's amazing. How do you do that?
they kind of poof in and out of your shadow and say, "We might have to show you sometime."
Yes, please do that. Do that.
Okay. They actually do give you a little bit of instruction, and you guys are able to find a few things, make contacts there that you need to make sure that you are getting that type of instruction, and it gets worked on in preparation for the wedding. When was Emmy wanting to do this wedding? Because as you get back to the inn, you're told about the summons. You're also told that they want to leave soon. So
If they're gonna be leaving, there's little time to waste.
Just go break into Father Xanthus's house, I guess.
She's not gonna do that, but she is going to go to the temple.
Well, I mean, Gideon's basically
Okay.
ordained, isn't he?
wait, that does bear a question. Gideon, as a paladin, can officiate a wedding.
Ooh.
There's no specific Desmond priest here. So
Well, isn't
Father Xanthus
isn't
sort of-
isn't the temple Desnan temple?
it's not specifically to Desna alone, if I remember right.
It's not specifically
sure.
to her alone, but it's
No, I think the most Desnan thing about this town is the Swallowtail Festival.
Because Father Xanthus does not serve Desna. It mainly focuses on Abadar, Desna, Erastil, Gozra, Serenray, and Shaylin. So the Desnan priest, there's no specific Desnan priest or Gozran priest. Those are very transitory faiths, so
Yeah.
they'll drift in and out. There is one that's slightly more common there for Shaylin. Abadar always has a presence there, as well as Erastil, balancing each other out. Serenray is, I believe, who Xanthus serves. No, he is a cleric of Desna.
yeah, that's what I
It says
thought.
right here. Cleric of Desna. So you could have Gideon there officiating, or Father Xanthus.
Porque él nos dos.
Yeah,
Those?
that would be possible. She does specifically. I have no idea what level Xanthus is, but she's willing to pay to get someone to cast Life Bond on them.
He does not have life bond, I don't think.
Okay, if he doesn't,
They have
there's
a
probably
seaside wedding, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna start shooting down these shithawks pretty soon.
I mean, it is a port town.
Yeah, if she can't get Life Bond cast here, she could probably get it cast later when she returns home with Magpie. So it's not crucial.
Yep, I'm looking at
It's,
level 5,
It's level 3
So-
cleric, I think.
a level 3 cleric spell.
Yeah,
So 3rd level clerics.
cleric or oracle.
So he would be able to have access to it if you give him enough time. He could get it ready for the next day.
You could get it ready for the next day, huh?
I mean, I can wait a day. It's important.
The question is, can the others?
No, it's urgent.
Good.
And we're getting paid up front.
Where does Wayko ever need to be?
At the earliest, he could prepare it this afternoon.
Oh, she wants it for the evening, anyways.
Okay.
So that's under
He
the
could
starlight.
probably do it. Well, then he could probably do it for this afternoon.
Okay,
So there you go.
that's viable. I suppose
All right.
she will go back to. She'll sort of inform him that she would like Gideon to be involved in the officiation as well.
Oh, I think we can do that just fine. Yes. Shouldn't be any problem.
She nods and makes it clear that she needs multiple lines for her name on the official documentation that she's going to be bringing.
Okay. There's not so much in the way of official documentation for it, but yes, it is perfectly fine to add multiple names.
Okay.
And so you make wedding plans, quick wedding plans, blah, 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 happens. So that means that Gideon helps Father Xanthus officiate the wedding between Emmy and Magpie. Wayko
Wayko's gone.
is...
Damn it,
Wayko
Mal.
Did
is
everyone freeze?
probably...
No, and there goes Colin.
There goes Colin. Well, it does bring up the question. Oh,
Runaway bride.
Aaron will deeply protest leaving before seeing the marriage. Mazus.
Yeah, we need Aaron to be a flower girl. I need Wayko to be my
Sure.
best man.
There you go.
Just
You know he's
So-
gonna give the ring to the chicken and he's not gonna get it back. Bound to happen.
The ring is going to be on the chicken initially. That it's probably going to be one of those ones found.
All I've ever wanted to be was best man since my brother said that I would be his best man.
Well, now Wayko
This is
is
such-
Magpie's best man.
That's so much best menship. Wayko's got to call a stripper or something. I still don't know what best men do.
Magpie has an afternoon of Wayko awkwardly trying to be best man material. He gets him extra cinnamon rolls. He gets him all that
Ever
stuff.
seen a chicken in a bikini?
No,
Just
and I
for you.
don't think I want to.
Well, I mean, you're
Dude,
Aiden. You
I
might.
know this really hot chick. She'll do anything.
Worst best man choice, but I'm so happy you made it.
Well, I mean, Gideon's already officiating as part of the wedding.
The lovely bridegroom
Indeed.
is unable to rejoin the video call for some reason. Also, you guys are getting married?
Apparently.
This really
Hey.
is a shotgun wedding, isn't it?
Oh yeah, she's pregnant. We have to get married, or someone cuts my
We
head
have
off.
to.
That's
We have to, or the padre will be mad. You should read your Bible, sirs. There's all kinds of crazy shit in there. It's the best.
All right. Well, there's the blushing
I'm
bride.
back.
To put minds at ease, the officiation of the wedding goes off without a hitch. The stars are beautiful. There's even, as Emmy looks up, teary-eyed into the sky to keep from crying, a shooting star streaks across the sky as she does.
Ah, couldn't have been
Her dress is
more
a little tight.
picturesque.
the dress is a little tight though.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you gotta go quick.
Nahkräs is even there if he chooses to be.
Wayko has gotten into the communion wine, and now he's the wedding singer.
He drinks so much he just polymorphs into Adam Sandler.
There you go. All right.
Magical,
Got a Frampton wedding.
magical, perfect, fucked up
Hampton-
evening.
You got yourself a Hampton wedding in the Framptons.
So we'll say that all goes on just fine. And
Does
you guys,
Nahkräs end up showing up? Just curious.
This mic is notoriously hard to unmute. No, he is heading north. He's after like thinking about it more and more. Tommy Gaddy understands what Adam is doing. Tommy Gaddy respects that he is herding the party members back together, but like this is a huge pain point for him because of his upbringing, and he doesn't like the smallest possibility that that could happen to somebody that he has been like assigned to protect and cares about terrifies the hell out of him. I'll spend the last bit of my gold on like 2 or 3 or 4 potions of endure elements because I'm stupid and didn't prepare that spell, and I'm a spontaneous caster. But yeah, he's going to head on north. I guess like if any word is heard about what happens, the druids can probably certainly find him. And again, like if something goes bad or if he has to be gone for a while, he would have told the druids to start like growing him or his replacement.
Does he not have enough
Okay.
for a scroll of tree stride?
I don't think I could cast it.
It's a
That's a-
druid spell.
Right, but what kind of check is that again?
Do you
I
have
think
read
it's
magic?
use magic.
I do not have read magic.
Oh, I thought if it was on your spell list, you didn't have to. But
No, I have to have read magic for that.
okay.
And I don't even
Anyway.
think druids get that.
So on your character sheets, if you want to note it somewhere, Emmy and Magpie, that is the 19th of Abadius,
19th of
There you go.
Abadius. Gotcha.
Abadius, which corresponds. Oh, nope, that would have had to wait till next day, so it doesn't correspond with anything. So
So that's January
Anyway.
19th for everyone who doesn't know the rest of the calendar.
So, all that said, Nahkräs does not come. He said he was going, and he left. So you guys get back to the Rusty Dragon to kind of finish out the evening. I'm not sure. Does the rest of everyone go ahead and head down towards Magnamar, or do they wait until morning? It's up to them.
I guess we leave. I mean, it
There's
was
probably
urgent.
There's probably a 2 to 3 hours of travel time that you could knock out before you had to stop for the day. May even get down to that one farmer's house.
Mm,
He's becoming very important.
He's our
Strangely so.
waypoint.
Strangely so, he has a gun suddenly.
He's the only one with a firearm.
Human
In
commoner with one
loose
gunslinger.
terminology.
We're gonna
Hold
have to
it,
replace that
boomstick.
shambling mound with a sargasm fiend.
He goes hunting shambling mounds now and just rounds them up.
If we keep staying at this guy's house at one point or another, I'm bound to tell him we killed his shambling mound.
We should tell him.
That's the nice thing to do. when
Do
you-
it now while the druid is gone so he doesn't get pissed off.
Anyway,
Wait, if the druid was
Uh,
there, he'd be more pissed off?
No, the druid would get pissed off that you killed an innocent, poor little
Oh.
trash monster.
I
We thought
wasn't.
it was gonna try to fuck us up. It tried to
It
fuck me up.
Right?
It wasn't innocent.
It didn't actually. No, it was just like running along us like a bounding antelope, and we were just
It
like,
was running away from you because it was frightened, and then you attacked it.
it was
and
running
so
away to get friends and/or guns.
it becomes a
He's
Gee.
running
family.
away to get that level 1 commoner with a gun.
Vines coming out of the thing with like pistols, and it just flawless.
That's what happens when you mix a pale stranger with a shambling mat.
Oh gosh.
That sounds excellent.
I mean, I imagine we
All right.
we cut as many hours as we can, since it was
Yeah.
an urgency.
So to push it, you would probably get to that man's house. You could stay there, or you could camp out in the wagon. It's up to you. Aaron is with you unless you say otherwise.
Mazus has the wagon sorted up that there are 2 spots for sleeping. That's for him and Aaron. So
Right.
if
I've taken care of
the
me and
other
my kid.
people if the other people want to sleep on the floor or outside, in the shotgun guys. in the
Honestly,
barn,
what Gideon would probably offer to do, because we had stayed for that, is drive through the night with Meg
Okay.
sort of keeping an eye.
Roll me a d100.
1, 2, 3. No, I'm kidding. 54.
54. Okay, that was for weather, not for encounters. So you're all right.
Okay, T0 still would have been like a fucking hurricane.
Here I am, rocking like a hurricane.
Dun,
Hey,
dun,
big noise
dun,
that
dun,
comes in.
dun, dun.
my fellow Canadians can attest, there are actually things called thunder blizzards.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
They are awesome.
Yeah, I've seen thunder snow before. It's really bright blue.
It's rad.
it's pretty cool. I've only seen it like one.
I just
Oh, it's
remembered,
snowing. Oh, it's snowing.
Mazus could offer you to sleep in extra dimensional pocket if you would prefer that.
Doesn't that like have 10 minutes of air?
No. That you can be there for 6 hours, but then
Yeah,
you're
I was
gonna
gonna
fall
say-
He's
down.
talking about rope trick.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys work out this stuff somehow.
We've got tents and
You
stuff.
can go through the night. It is warm enough to make it through the night, but you will be very cold. So, and you will be exhausted the next day. But that's not a big deal for you, I don't suppose. Of course, the person that usually gets rid of your exhaustion is not with you. So,
It's a fortitude save to avoid fatigue.
true.
I'm feeling
Oh,
Now I
ready for it.
still need.
I'll have endure elements on the horses.
Okie dokie.
That helps.
So you and Aaron sleep comfortably. Well, you sleep in the back. I'm not sure how comfortable you sleep because it is cold and bumpy. But Aaron doesn't seem to care. She's out like a light. So she gets that 8 hours, man. She gets that 8 hours. She's ready for the next day.
I am so curious as to what she did with her 6,000 gold.
I ain't telling nobody.
Put it in
It's
the
a
hand.
world's best wizard mug for Mazus.
So let me see. I do need another D100 roll. This time from probably Alex because you rolled the weather. We'll let Alex roll if anything goes on.
97.
Nice roll.
God damn it.
Bring the
Sandpoint
XP.
Devil Magnumar edition.
Hey man, if it's just
Oh.
like the normal one from the book, we can kill it now. If
Is
it's the buffed
97 the
up one, we're
actual
gonna
roll?
fucking die.
Take a look.
Is
It's in the roll
Yeah.
20.
Oh,
97 is the roll.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, we need XP, so
Let me
Oh boy.
remember what I said to myself. I think I did it the other way around. Yeah, I did it the other way around. Okay, so that doesn't automatically summon the Sandpoint Devil. That's a different roll. You're very lucky. I had to remember how I set that around in my head because otherwise, yeah, that would have been very bad. That would have been another encounter with the Sandpoint Devil with just you, Aaron, the Paladin. Yeah. Woo. Okay. Okay. Very close.
Is Wayko with us or no?
Wayko, yeah, Wayko is with you. So you would have Wayko. He has lightning. So
But
there
he's
you go.
probably still
Meg
pissed
is
drunk
there
off
too.
communion wine.
That's probably too. Well, I'm pretty sure Desnan weddings aren't exactly the most calm weddings anyway. So in the distance, while everyone's sleeping, Gideon sees a blue hued light right there in front of him. Probably a few hundred yards off. And he sees it again as he goes and continues. And it's a little bit farther away. It's a little bit closer, but to the side.
Meg, you see that over there?
What?
Blue lights. Is it
Oh.
left side, right side?
It's on your left side at the moment.
To the left there. You've got better eyes than I do.
Ah. Yes, it looks spoopy.
You see what it is?
Yes. I'll go look.
No. If from here, don't need you to wander off. If it's going to be a problem, we'll deal with it.
Okay. Roll me a d20 for her, please. Well, you get to roll her checks. She does not have any skills that I know of.
She gets a plus 12 to perception. I know that.
So go ahead and
for
roll
Griffin,
her
at least.
just a basic perception.
29.
29. She sees something through the through the snow and through the wind. There's no snow actively falling. It's like the wind catches up the snow. It's not a lot because this was a very wet snow. So it doesn't obscure too much, but it looks like indeed a light about the size of a maybe she says it's about the size of a cantaloupe. And then she says, "Oh, cantaloupe. Those are tasty. Can we get cantaloupe?"
As soon as we get to Magma, I'll take a look for some. So Gideon's going to keep driving the cart, keeping an eye on it, see if it gets closer to the cart itself. You know, I'm kind of detecting another shambling mound scenario here, but you know,
Don't know about that.
So yeah, he'll keep an eye on it. If it gets within range, he's going to try to ping it with Detect Evil.
Okay. You see it kind of float about you, kind of hovers a little closer, a little closer. Meg says, looks like a skull made of mist. And then when she says that, it blinks out.
Can I do a religion check based upon that description?
You can.
So that'll be a 15.
15, there are some incorporeal things like that might be like a ghost or something, but it doesn't appear like that might be concrete what it is. You're not sure exactly what it is. It may be an undead. If it is definitely a kind of ghost type thing. But other than that, you're not sure.
Okay. He's going to start pinging Detect Evil sort of in the area that it disappeared and try to each round basically sort of shift it slightly just to see if he can catch it if it's going to get near.
Okay. So you don't see anything with your eyes. You keep kind of looking around. About an hour later, you kind of feel a ping, not even as you're just kind of coming back this way. You feel a ping like 5 feet in front of your face.
Well then, okay. That's great. But I can't see it, or
You don't see anything in front of your face, but you feel a ping. If we had a grid, it'd be like right in front, the grid block right in front of you, about head level.
okay. Now I'm just trying to remember rules-wise here. I believe with Smite Evil, it requires me to have sightline to it, so I have to be able
Probably.
to see it.
You cannot see it.
I'm going to, if possible, and what I'm going to say here then is, yeah, what I'm gonna do is hold my action hold my turn for the first thing that tries to attack either myself or the caravan, and tell Meg to be on guard that something's afoot.
Okay, so kind of you see it. You keep your guard up. You kind of have your hands ready for your weapon, and as you do, it kind of keeps right in front of you for about minute or so, and it seems to try to kind of drift kind of around you, trying to drift into the evil tries to drift into the wagon.
It's trying to go inside the wagon, or it's going towards the. And Gideon can't see anything, even with like the lighting from the wagon and things like that.
Nope.
Then what he's going to do is be the Iomedan paladin that he is, and take a swing at the location that the evil is with his brand new
Okay.
sword. So he'll bring out the sword, which has it's the new adamantine sword. It has the dragon tail etched up the middle of there, the sort of dawn breaking as the hilt, the pommels basically wrapped in red leather with the head of it being a dragon, and he'll take a swing at the empty space where the evil supposedly is.
Roll a
Okay.
percentile. 50% to
Percentile
Yep.
first or attack
Yeah.
first?
roll percentile first.
Sure. Percentile is 89.
You swing, and it goes, and you kind of chip into the your blade kind of comes down and around and into the seat of the wagon beside you, and you don't sense it there anymore in front of you.
Gotta pay for that.
You nicked my wagon. You kind of turn. I would suspect you turn to try and look into there.
Yep.
Okay. So you do, and you see Mazus sleeping there on his, side. See Aaron on her
Well,
side.
it's a
She's got
closed. It's a
Baron.
closed wagon, right?
Yep. There be doors and windows.
The windows would not be open at this time of day. So
No.
it does not drift into there. It seems to drift up towards the top and starts to drift down towards the back.
But it's sort of keeping pace with us then,
It seems to be.
without his blindfold. God damn it!
You guys roll it. I just role play it.
Could just wake us up.
Yeah, he'll knock on pretty loudly onto the actual the wagon itself. We're being followed by something. Might want to wake up.
What? What?
Something invisible here.
All right. I'll get up. He looks over to Aaron.
Dead to the world.
Whatever.
Wayko hopefully wakes up to that as well.
Yeah, he's not psyched about it, but he's up.
Okay.
All right. So,
Yeah.
can you be more precise? What happened, Gideon? What happened?
Well, Meg and I saw a blue light off in the distance. She got a good look at it, said it was a skull of mist, blue light, disappeared, and it pinged on me in terms of evil and sort of stayed directly in front of me for quite a while, and then attempted to see if there was an entrance into your cart before I decided to say, take a swing. Doesn't seem corporeal, does not seem that it's easily seen, but it seems to be behind us at this point, following us rather closely.
Is the wagon
Fine.
still moving?
Unless they tell me to stop, I'm going to keep it moving, yeah.
Wayko's gonna groggily get up. He's gonna kind of find his way to the back of the cart and cast Detect Magic along the back. Just looking out the back of the cart, just straight back, see if he can maybe see some magic. Is that something I roll for?
No.
No. You do not have to roll. You project out that way for a few moments. Don't sense any magic.
I don't see anything, Gideon.
Do I still sense the evil behind us?
So you kind of ping back that way. It doesn't seem like it's at the back of the thing anymore.
He'll sweep around, I guess, and see if he can find it. He'll take a look.
Maybe waiting for
get
us up
next-
the road.
Get Meg to also look around.
Okay.
Do I need to do perception checks or anything like that for this then, or how do I go about this?
If you want to do another look around, yes.
Okay, so I'll first do myself for perception. That's a 14.
Okay.
Meg is a 26.
So you look around, ping all around. You look up, you look around, you look down at the horses, you look around towards the back. don't see anything. Meg doesn't see anything. She can't sense like you can, evil or anything like that. So she kind of looks around. She looks underneath, looks up. Doesn't see
If it has a
anything.
scent as well, that might. I don't know if that'll play an effect on this.
Smells like
Because
gold.
if it does have a
There's a-
scent, she gets a bonus to that.
There's a faint. She does detect a faint, kind of acrid smell. Very, very, very faint. She says, but it's there.
Where?
It just seems to be around at the moment. So, continue moving on.
Apparently.
Yeah, we got places to be and gold to claim.
So there you go.
Mhm.
So, a strange encounter in the night. And I'm making myself a note.
See, that's the scariest part about all this.
I
is
guess
when
Mazus
Adam has to make
will-
notes.
Mazus will stay up like 15 minutes, but then we're like, and go back to sleep then.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
wake me
you're
up if
fif-
you need me. Like if you
Yep.
need me.
okay. So, that's basically how it goes for you on your trip. You guys push through the night and make it to Magnamar the next day. However, now we need to see what happens with Magpie and Emmy and Nahkräs. So, all right.
Moab.
Moab!
Nahkräs pushes through the wilderness, still just trying to parse how the hell this has happened, because one's an avian and the other is a mammal.
Both are magic humanoids.
Yeah. Magic.
So,
It's like Pokemon. We're not the same Pokemon. We're the same base type.
Magpie is a
Gotta
ditto.
catch them all.
no, that would mean actually Emmy would be the Ditto because she's the shape changer.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I
have
He's the
Um,
Nahkräs.
feet.
He's the Murkrow. That's what he is.
So
All right.
I'm curious. Before Emmy starts to teleport anywhere, she is wondering about getting back. What the plans for getting back are, because she can get 2 scrolls of greater teleport, but there's 2 places she wants to go.
Well, you know that you can buy a scroll there if you need to. It is
Yeah. The question is
your parents
access the
kinda
money
live in
once she
Canada.
gets there.
gold's gold, you know. So
Well, yeah, but she only has enough for 2 scrolls, so and she wants to go to 2 different places. So it's a matter of
well,
would
what
her
I'm about
parents
to
be
say
willing to
might
loan
help
money?
you figure that out.
Okay.
So, as you are coming in, Amiko comes up to you, obviously slightly disappointed as she looks about that her particular beefcake.
He would have
is
let
not
her
with you
know.
at the moment.
He would have let her know.
Oh well, in that case, she was quite enthusiastic with her goodbye. So anyway, Amiko comes to you and says, "I heard about where you were wanting to kind of get off to. Not staying with me and letting me see baby, but I have a surprise for you."
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I mean, you'll see him. Event, just not right now. He's still inside.
we have a guest that came in last night. He says that he can teleport, and that seems the best way to get you where you're going.
And who is this guest?
He is a little wizard that seems to drift in every now and then. I think he fancies the help. She kind of motions slyly, genteelly as possible for the comment, over towards her her halfling helper.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
helps
The
her
one who
all
pulled the
around.
glass out of me.
And she's kind of middle-aged for a halfling, and you see her kind of glancing over towards a corner table where this other halfling is sitting with his cloak hood up, and well, he has his cloak hood down now because he's eating voraciously sausage and eggs and bacon and a very Canadian breakfast.
I actually had that today
See,
with
point.
a beer.
Well, that is kind of what he's having.
Oh no.
So there you go. but he's a clean-shaven little hobbit man, and he very much fits the stereotypical hobbit setup. You know how you see in some renditions of halflings they wear shoes and they don't. He definitely doesn't. His he's sitting in a medium-sized chair, all up, hairy feet swinging back and forth, gobbling down his food and drink. He may not look like much, but he has shown that he's been able to pop back and forth occasionally. Helped me out once or twice.
Can we trust him?
To get the job done.
I don't recognize him. I don't feel we have a reason not to trust him.
It's a sad thing that Magpie doesn't recognize him and thinks that is a reason to trust him,
Yeah.
as opposed to recognizing him and trusting him.
Well, he doesn't look like someone who'd want to fuck me over, or someone who works for someone who'd want to fuck me over.
It's tricky because where I want to go, it's not necessarily a place that people are allowed to follow.
Oh, well, he doesn't think he can get you directly in, but he could get you to the gate, as it were.
Oh, nah, that's
Let me tell you, dear, it beats traveling on foot over that distance, for sure.
all right. I suppose she will go up and talk to him as Magpie sort of zones out for a second, or whatever he does.
Okay. Kind of. She's got this really curly hair. Comes down to about shoulder length, maybe a little longer. Halfling features, so it's kind of hard to tell when they really hit middle age or not. You only know that that little helper is middle age because of she got a gray streak in part of her hair, and that's kind of what's starting to happen with him. He doesn't seem to hear you come up, and it's just,
Pardon me?
Oh, don't scare me like that, fox woman. You just fox woman. Oh, you're the one that she was talking about. Oh, what's her name? Oh, Amiko. Yes. How do you do?
I am doing wonderfully. Thank you for asking. And she will shake his hand.
He shakes it voraciously. Just all right. So you need to go over to that elf spot. That spot. Been there before myself. Not very inviting people, but I can get you there.
Okay, that's good. There was one other place I wanted to visit beforehand, though. I don't know if you would be able to get me there as well.
I don't know. I only got one in me. How far is it?
Little bit shorter distance. It's in the Sonos Forest. It's small gnome village.
I don't know that I've been there. That'd be harder to do. I can get you to the elf place, though.
All right. What's the cost?
Oh, don't you worry about it. Amiko already paid me.
Emil glance over at Amiko, make eye contact, and mouth the words "thank you."
She just kind of smiles and continues cleaning a already clean glass.
Thinking about someone in particular, I'm presuming. But all right. And what about getting back?
What about it? I can get you there.
So I'd have to find my own way back, is what you're saying.
Sorry.
All right. Well, that's fine. That works out. I suppose I'll have to do things in a little bit different order than I planned, but it's possible.
Oh, good. Are you wanting to leave right now? I can get it right now.
Do you have the scroll of teleport for the way back, assuming we need it?
She has money for it, and we are going to an elven city where it is very likely that we will be able to buy one.
Yeah.
Much more likely than in
No.
Sandpoint.
Tommy's one shot was the only time I myself have ever delivered a teleport, and I gotta tell you, it might be my favorite spell of all time.
Dude, you should
Oh,
come
I'm not
play on
there.
Lord of the Caliber. It's like 5 teleports a session.
Yeah.
We spend so much goddamn money on
Scroll.
scrolls.
You do.
Teleport
Yeah.
best.
How accurate is your teleport? Can you make sure that we get there for sure?
He kind of looks at you, sets a dime on the table, snaps his fingers. Looks like it's a silver piece, close to a dime, whatever. He sets it on the table, has you look at it, snaps his fingers, and says, "What'd you think? Did it move?"
I check my pockets.
you check. And all your change seems to be there.
It certainly teleported somewhere. Don't know where.
It to clarify what he's doing, he sets the piece on the table, snaps his fingers. You see magic flash, but nothing appears to you to have happened. He says that it did happen. He said he teleported it to the same instant so that it would look like it didn't move. If there's one thing I can do, girl, it's teleport. The other stuff,
She looks at Magpie. Well, I suppose we should pack our things and get ready to go. What do you think?
That works for me. I mean, I've been packed for like weeks. I sort of live out of
never
bags.
unpacked.
Yeah, it's become a habit.
So, Emmy will gather up her stuff, which is mostly packed, not entirely, because she's been there for a while, but mostly packed.
Okay.
And
He says, "All right, whenever you're ready, I'm ready."
make sure she's got Muvesi by her side in her little bag.
Okie dokie. You do that.
She holds Magpie's hand and goes, "All right, I think we're ready."
Okay. So, you all
She makes
stand
sure
there
to say
and you-
goodbye to Amiko before leaving.
Yeah, Magpie does as well.
Amiko hugs you both, and wishes you the best of luck on your new life together.
And as
Yeah.
she is doing so, she goes, Amir responds, "Best of luck with Gideon."
She's gonna get
she
that
kind
in
of-
back.
If Magpie has to die for it, he's gonna get that in back. So you guys get all ready, get all around, and you get in your room. He doesn't want to do it everywhere where everybody can see. So get in your room and kind of hold hands. And he says, "All right, bibbity bobbity, whatever."
Whatever.
And-
That's not insurance.
And poof. And this is where we'll take a break with the poof.
Did we make it?
So we'll find out if you made it after we check back with the others. Nahkräs, I need 3 survival checks.
All right, is this for like it being cold out?
This is for the first half of your trip.
Okay, well, for like if it's cold out, I should have been, instead of editing my videos, I should have number crunched, but I'm going to spend my remaining like 400 gold on as many potions of endure elements as that can buy, and that's a 24-hour duration, if that matters at
Okay.
all. But here are the
Still
percentage
gotta
dice
find
rolls.
food on your travels. Gotta find
First,
food
rough.
and maintain your trail.
Okay,
Why are we rolling D100s?
you asked for percentage dice. Oh, you wanted survival checks. I'm sorry. I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
really good
uh-huh.
at survival. Don't you know?
Yeah, I got like a 98 on my survival, man.
Ugh,
Bonus 70.
hunters.
98 out
Alright.
of 20.
So that comes out to like a natural 18 or something. All right, here they are for real.
Ooh, and at 20.
Natural 10, natural 20, natural 19.
All right, all those are fine. In fact,
So just get
you
those
think
out
you
of the way
make
now.
progress. You think you find a shortcut that cuts a day off your travel time. So there you go.
Alrighty.
All right. Coming back to those making it to Magnamar, the letter requested that you go directly to the Lord Mayor's mansion when the time was to meet, or when you got there, I should say. And he is ready to meet whenever you are, it seems.
Horses blazing, just burning through town.
Well, Gideon
Money.
will suggest a quick stop at the Iomedean Temple before
To be
getting to
fair, you'd go down to the bottom of the city to the Iomedean Temple, and then back up to the top of the city for the mayor's place.
Okay, so I guess they go to the mayor's place first on the way to the Iomedean Temple, which is more important anyways.
Yeah, no detours.
Okay. So, Erin doesn't really want to go in and mess with the mayor anymore, Lord Mayor, unless she has to. So she'd prefer to stay in the wagon, but she'll come with you if you want her to.
I mean, you were very good with him last time. I would prefer to have you with me. But I do understand that you don't want to.
She nods and straightens up her dress, brushes a little bit of dust off, and just kind of steps out and says, "Meg, I would very much appreciate it if you guarded the wagon." And she goes on towards the Lord Mayor.
Learning how to use others from an early age. Well done, Mazus. You have imparted the wisdom of the ages.
Meg kind of looks at her as she goes off, starts to sit down, then thinks about it, and then turns to Gideon first.
It's up to you, Meg. I will let you know that this individual is probably not the most righteous nor the most beneficial to interact with. There's a certain level of tact
Should we smite him?
required. If it comes to it, he falls under this gray area, neither evil nor good.
She looks up at the sky. It's a blue day. Looks back at you. I'll stay here. I don't like closed spaces.
Very understandable, Meg.
All right, let's collect some money.
Yeah, Wayko's coming. He's on board. He's jacked.
All right.
Look at that sky. Talk about blue.
It's a blue sky.
Super blue.
Shut up, Meg.
You hear the chicken from under your hat go cluck, cluck, cluck.
Oh, that's rude.
All right. So, what do you want to do? Heading straight on up there. Aaron's waiting at the door for you.
Gideon will make his way forward in his new finery.
All right. So, you continue on, and knocking on the door, you hear the butler opens and says, "Yes."
Gideon of the Iomedain Order, Mazus, as well as Aaron of Sandpoint, here to see the Lord Mayor, as well as Wayko here.
Oh,
Hello.
yes. The Lord Mayor is expecting you. This way,
he is.
please.
Thank you.
So he lets you all in, closes the door, and Kane is out. Yes, you weren't asked to leave your weapons behind. You got all your stuffs.
Gideon's in his full
Base.
plate armor, sword, and bow on his back.
All right. So you head up that way, and he says, "Wait here, please." And he motions for you to sit down. As he goes into the Lord Mayor's apparent office, there's voices within, blah, 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 blah. And as he comes back out, he opens the very large oak doors and says, "The Lord Mayor will see you now."
Perfect. Thank you.
And almost right behind him, the Lord Mayor comes up and says, "Oh, yes, Gideon." And he just clasps his hand to yours and smacks it on the back of it. "It's so good to see you back. Right where you belong, with us here in Magmar.
It's good to see you as well.
Oh, good. Yes. Aaron, my good lady." He takes her hand, smooches it real big on it. And you see her eye just kind of twitch when he does that, but her voice her eye does that, but her voice goes, "And Lord Mayor, have you been thinning?" "Oh dear, you know just what to say to make a old man feel good." Yes. "And Wayko," he says.
Hey.
He just comes up and gives you a big old hug.
Hey.
"Oh, I'm so glad that you decided to come too," he says, squeezing your butt.
Fortunately, this time it's business,
as he
not
releases the
pleasure.
hug.
Wayko's got friends
Oh.
in all places.
All places.
I imagine Gideon and Mazus just sharing a glance. Just what the.
that was a long hug. There's-
It was a
Was
long
there an
hug.
ass
That
grabbing there, or was that just my imagination?
maybe it's a witch thing.
No, there are fingerprints all over his butt cheek.
I was just handing powdered Joe nuts before you came in here. I gotta keep spry after all. No, but for real, it is business, not pleasure, isn't it?
The
Gideon?
white hand of Sauron just.
White hand
You know, he's an
Saruman, sir.
Oh, business is always a
Okay,
pleasure.
Saruman, not Sauron.
I don't care.
Saruman.
Tolkien is dry and awful. That's my personal opinion.
What?
Dry.
Clearly, you've never
Dry.
tried to read the Silmarillion.
Clearly, you've never tried
Which is-
his magical textbook.
Why do I get
It is like a
Why-
textbook.
Alex, side note, just splice in the scene from Clerks 2 describing the Lord of the Rings for Kane right here. That's all you need.
It's just walking.
Bricks in
And they're
Samwise's
walking. And then they're walking. Then he tells the rest of those hobbits to take a hike.
Oh, sick burn.
All
right.
right.
No, for real. Aren't we here collecting on a deed, Gideon?
Oh, yes. Down to business, I suppose. Sit
Yes,
down,
Lord.
sit down.
What is so urgent? What has happened? Please tell us.
Well, to go. I think it's going to be a pointless and silly trip to talk to those foul-tempered black arrows. Unfortunately, they haven't responded. I need you to go to Turtleback Ferry and Fort Rannick, which is right there near Hook Mountain, and speak with them, get a report, check on them. It's strange for them to leave me such a long span without any kind of correspondence.
Understandable. We'd be more than happy to oblige.
I thought so. And if that is the case, I am prepared to pay you 750 gold each for your expenses on the trip and your services, of course. Let me see. I only count 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. Will the
I'm
others be
going-
joining you?
Well, we
I'm going to be rolling
represent
a
a
diplomacy check here.
larger group. Not all of them thought it was important to come here.
And that diplomacy check is a 24 to save face. 2 of our members had some personal business arise. They will hopefully be joining us very shortly, however.
Okay. That diplomacy. Also, roll me a d20 for Erin as she says this. Yes, Lord Mayor, I'm sure that you can understand that sometimes they don't always arrive on time when you want them to. The help, you know. And his eye kind of glints. He says, yes, of course. I suppose we could upfront you the money for them. So, anyway, so he's willing to pay for them as well with those combined diplomacies.
Sweet.
And that money will be held
You
by
see
Gideon
Erin-
in trust for them.
Nobody I
Yes,
would
that's
trust
what I
more to
was
hold
hoping.
something in trust.
Erin looks like she wants to say something, but she kind of side glances to Mazus as if asking, should I say, asking a bit of permission.
He just nods.
And she starts in as, it's so unfortunate that lately, with the weather, expenses could get higher on our trip. It might take us longer to get there if we don't have the proper equipment to make the journey. Oh, yes, you might be right. Roll me another d20 for her.
Roll it. 20.
Yes, but I'm sure you'll be able to get yourselves right on point. I trust you. That's why I called you. Of course.
And she kind of goes, oh, yes, of course.
Now, my Lord Mayor, what may we be expecting upon our arrival? What are the circumstances? Are you familiar, as I would assume you are, with the town, with the area in which these reports are to be coming from?
Well, Fort Rannick is there to protect Turtleback and all those different far-off places. It's right there on the border, and they haven't been good about protecting it from the other side. So, several years back, 2 decades now, I decided to make sure that they did get protected, solidify a few alliances where necessary on the borders, and I must say that it's been a fair investment thus far. The Turtleback Ferry has been a very useful location for us and brought in some revenue for Magmar and its trade. You can even get there by going the Yonder Bakari River. There's actually a riverboat that travels up that way. You might hitch a ride on it if you don't want to take a wagon up that way.
How much information can you give us about Turtleback Ferry and the fort itself? Anything could be of use.
Well, as I said, about a month ago, we were expecting some correspondence with them a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't get any. It's strange because usually they're quite prompt on, even though they are stubborn. The leader there, excuse me. That's not his name. Fort Rannick's leader. Where did he go? Name. Name.
Name!
Name.
Name!
Insert
I
name.
got to
here.
participate today. Name.
Okay.
Name.
Okay. Commander Baden is their leader there at the fort, and he's done a good job with the Black Arrows. They're rather tardy sometimes. It's never been this late when they've given me a report. The Turtleback has been useful for us, and frankly, I don't know that much. I let them keep the business as far as that's concerned. As long as the tax revenue continues coming in and the appropriate amount of appropriation comes our way, it's been quite a amiable agreement for them, offering protection and support through the fort. The Turtlebacks offering monetary compensation.
Who are the Black Arrows?
They're quite a proficient ranger set. Had good work with them lately, and they've done a lot for the help in keeping Turtleback protected. There's nasty ogres up there who's come down from the hills, were raiding and all those things, so we kind of put them in their place with Black Arrows most of the time.
Right, but are they a mercenary force or part of the army or?
Neither. They're a band of rangers from that area, so they have kind of a home turf interest in making sure that the place is protected.
But they are employed by Magnema.
To that extent, yes, they would be our employees.
Now, my Lord Mayor, this question may seem a little odd. However, how long since the last report?
Well, like I said, it was supposed to come in a couple of weeks ago.
What was the last report? When did the last report come in?
Oh, probably, I'd have to say, a month before that, on schedule.
Very well. I only ask because as a good upstanding Paladin, read Boy Scout, I want to be able to prepare for the worst. For if it's been a month or more, as you say, it's been tardy, or the report, I just want to make sure that nothing untoward has happened at the fort itself.
I don't know. That's why you're going.
No, certainly. I just was trying to prepare to see whether or not if an invading force, not saying it is, but say an invading force has been able to set up, how much time they may have had.
Well, the ogres are not very smart. If it was the ogres, then they've probably come down, pillaged and such like, and then retreated back off. The Kriegs is the band that usually is doing it, and they've not been very smart in the past. They follow their patriarch. They call him Papa Krieg. So
Very good. Thank you, my Lord Mayor. We will look into this.
Now, what you're saying is that we are to travel there and report back what has happened to the fort and possibly the Black Arrows. While we are there, should we find that the fort is lost, the city burnt to ashes, then what?
I would expect some retribution for such an action. If you do that, I would perfectly willing.
The whole city burned to ash? Because that seems like something that's significant. Like maybe you'll get a letter, but if the whole city's burnt to ash, we might be a while getting back. I'm just saying.
To be fair, Turtle Black Fairy isn't that big.
That should be the last hope of anyone.
Oh, it just won't bother me in either way. So I don't really care as long as the job gets done.
That's
And
messed up.
should you keep everything, the reports back and everything like that, it should be fine.
Right, but let's say
I do think it would be good if you would take care of any problems that arise, Mazus. I know
right,
that business is best to be kept flowing.
but you are not paying us for further dealings, or is this a standing offer that further resources may be sent our way should we find it difficult at the fort?
I cannot promise anything, but a certain amount of quid pro quo is only to be expected.
Very well.
Excellent. That's good. Oh, and I do think that if you want to get there the fastest, it would be by the Yonder Bakari River and the Skull Rivers. They lead up towards Turtleback Ferry. You could probably get there in a week.
Would you put us in contact with the ferryman to expedite the potential travel, of course?
Yes, You wanting me to pay for your way? Is that what it is, Mazus?
I'm saying that should the Lord Mayor himself ask for a group of people to travel up the river, surely it will be more expedient than if we went there ourselves.
Diplomacy.
You carry a lot of weight just throwing around your name, you know?
And around the midsection.
Mm-hmm.
I
Gideon
can
will
pull down there.
assist if necessary here as well, in terms of just trying to...
Oh, it is necessary.
Because he understands the expediency necessity, especially if they haven't been heard from in over a month.
Especially since it's an understanding that that particular ferry is usually 50 gold per person.
So I rolled a 15.
15? Let's see, Wayko's there with you. That modifies it a little bit. Sure. Why not? He says, well, you're probably right. I tell you what, I'll cover that for... It's only these certain ones of you, you're not needing the other tickets covered, so sure, I'll cover that. Get you guys up there faster. If you want to take the ferry. Don't know that they'll have a way to get your wagon along with you, though.
How is the terrain around the Turtleback Ferry?
The road there's just fine. Usually winds close to the Underbakari. I suspect it'd probably take a week itself just to go that way. But it's definitely going to take at least a week.
It's not bad to have a place to sleep during the cold night.
Yes.
Didn't you, make it so there was going to be sort of boat-shaped anyway, so it might float?
It is boat-shaped.
It could float behind the ferry, who knows? To the DM, but yes.
I mean, technically, you could probably... I don't know how a wagon floats.
Not that well.
It would depend on the construction.
Yeah, and how much was metal and how much was... all right. You guys now have that choice that I'll let you guys kind of think about and kind of discuss in the chat as we return to the pop and the whoosh. So, with the pop and the whoosh and the what?
And the bibbity bobbity whatever.
The bibbity bobbity whatever. Magpie and Emmy find themselves basically at the gates of the town that you were intending to go to. You are where you intended to be.
Wonderful.
Very reassuring. Oh, we're here.
Well, we made it. Emmy will thank the traveling wizard and head up to the gates, sort of dragging Magpie behind her.
I know. Wait, so we're here? This is the place?
She nods.
Yes.
She finds whoever's guarding the gate.
All right. So this particular place, I believe, is the one that has the tree that is built with the trees around it. Very much a nature type of theme with it, not like the city elves that Magpie might be slightly more familiar with.
It is the one that's in the forest built along the cliffside.
Okay. And the view that you find over the rest of the forest and over the rest of the landscape is quite breathtaking. The view that the entrance, gaining entrance, is not strange for you, as they kind of understand that Emmy is coming back. They do escort you to your parent. And as Magpie travels with you, it is probably the first time he's seen this many elves in one place and this much natural architecture that wasn't all rickety and strung together like a bunch of nests in the trees.
Hey man, we haven't had a collapse in well over 10 years, thank you.
10 years. So you head that way, and like I said, it seems fairly standard. You do get some looks from both young and old of the elves that live there, but
So
the armed guards,
nobody questions Magpie.
they see a wolf, they see a magical fox, and they see its crow buddy with it. I mean, how much questioning are you going to be doing when you're an elf and you know about that type of shape changing and stuff?
They're probably just in awe of our presence. Usually what I assume when people don't accost me.
Aside from that, it is somewhat strange for them to allow just like that Magpie to come in. And they are escorting you directly to your parents.
Yeah.
No turning, no going somewhere else.
No, Emmy's probably right up there, walking, like keeping pace with the guards because she knows her way around.
Okay.
Just following behind. I don't know where we are, where we're going.
Just hanging on to the little bit of string that she's let off of her little belt loop.
Yeah, I got the end of the
pickpocketing
scarf in my hand. Well, not in broad daylight, no.
There you go.
I got a plus 19 to stealth and stop me.
She did receive that, and she did not give it. Erin did receive that, and she did not give it to anybody else.
No,
So now she has 6,000.
I wouldn't expect her to.
She has 6,750 GP. I gotta keep it wrote down now.
She gave me 10 gold.
Oh. 6,740 gold pieces.
It's your pocket money, Mazes.
It's your pocket money. Be good, boy. So they lead you on, and they lead you directly to your parents, who seem to be sitting around, coming out. Let me see. You see an elf that you recognize leaving the hall that you find the room that you find your parents in. Make me a sense motive.
All right. Not my best skill check here. Nope.
Don't say.
You think he's glad to see you.
Ugh.
So
you know it
who
is
it? Do I recognize him?
Not by name, just by look, just by face. He's someone that your father had dealings with and your mother had dealings with in a more political sphere.
Gotcha. Emmy will very cordially introduce herself.
For someone that's glad to see you, he doesn't seem to even pay you any attention. It's odd.
Interesting.
Magpie, at this you can roll me a sense motive.
Okay. Be rude to my wife, will you? I'll take your shit right out of your pockets. 21.
He's not glad to see her. In fact, his lip almost curls. You know, the elves are very stoic when it comes to certain things, the elven politicians anyway. So it's odd for them to have any kind of tells, but you can pick up one just barely on him that he's not glad to see her. In fact, he's not paying her any attention because he detests that she's here. That's kind of the idea you're getting.
Who's that? Just I'll ask her or the guards, whoever responds.
The guards don't respond to you.
Oh, nice.
Just the one my family has had dealings with in the past. I'm not really sure what exactly it was, but it was some politics, more or less.
It looks like an ass.
She gives Magpie the stink eye at that.
The guards audibly flex their armor, shake their armor at
It's pronounced
that.
stank eye.
Get it right.
All right.
So,
and as you continue down this lovely hallway,
right?
You continue down the lovely hallway. The door that he just came out of is where you find your parents. And your mother comes up to you walking quickly while your father walks a bit slower. Well, your mom comes up, and then your dad comes up behind her. And she says, "We are so glad that you came, dear. We were so concerned about you."
Emmy's,
And who's this? Says the father. Says Dad. Dad's like, "Is this the one you wrote about? He seems more feathered than I had expected."
You didn't tell them I was a giant fucking bird?
She said Tengu in the letter, I believe.
I think you said Tengu to your mama and papa, not to your mom and dad.
Yeah, you're right. Sort of as mom is walking up, Emmy is very excited to see her again. She throws her arms around her.
As you do, she says, "Oh, dear, have you been putting on some weight? What? That doesn't..." And you do feel, a lot. You feel a lot tighter around the midsection than you did yesterday.
So, who all is the room now empty other than us and them and the guards?
Yes, at the moment.
Okay. Well, Mom, Dad, I'm sorry that you weren't able to be there, but Magpie here is your new son-in-law.
Your father was pouring a bit of wine over to the side and was about to hand it to Magpie cordially. And it just kind of drops, and he looks at you. It clangs to the ground. Ding, 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 ding.
Can I make a check to catch the wine?
Yes.
Is that just like a reflex?
Yes, reflex.
Plus 13, 29.
29. You deftly catch it and the wine as it kind of moves around. You're like,
Shocking, I know. I'm gonna move to Emyrelda's side and like hold her hand.
We were expecting a little bit more resistance getting him through the gate.
Yes, says your dad, as your mom just kind of lowers herself down onto her seat, the seats that are in there. Yes, your coming was actually told to us. There has been some developments that we were informed about, but we did not think them to be completely credible or completely. We were just surprised by these things that we heard. A stranger has come and told us that our daughter, our loving daughter, was having some strange events happen with her. So we wanted to have her come back so that we could take care of her, or at least see what was going on. And dear, if you had not come back, then we could not have guaranteed you being able to come at all. This same stranger has gone to fetch some more guests, as he called it, because he said there were developments with you and a friend that needed taken care of, needed watched over.
Did you happen to get the stranger's name?
No, unfortunately, we did not.
Convenient.
We wanted the name, and he told us his name, and they kind of they both kind of do it at the same time. They rub their temple just a little bit, about like they're trying to remember a name, but it just escapes us. Yeah, sorry, darling. But the guests that we're waiting on in this room where we were told to wait, should be here any moment. And with that, another snap happens, and
The same guy.
from no, not the same guy. Actually, it would be kind of the same guy. And you see him there, and then you see behind him someone who says, "Oh, look at you! You've gotten so big. We've came all the way to see you, Foxy."
Is it Mama and Papa?
That's Mama and Papa. And there's her bird boyfriend, says Papa.
There I am.
Look at you, says Papa, running up, looking you over. Oh, the gnome's he's a gnome with, you can see a streak of gray in his hair, but the rest of it is just like vibrant, purpley black kind of mixture. He says, "Look at you, boy. Whoa,
I've not seen no one like you up in our area before.
Kind of like shakes his hand, which I assume like his tiny little hand is very like.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
don't you worry about him, dear, says Mama.
things.
He's just overexcitable. We're here for our little fox.
Man, come on.
Well,
You gotta love these guys.
unfortunately, I suppose my letter did not reach you in time, but I did send one out before I came here.
Oh, you're so sweet, dear. We really appreciate that.
This Magpie here is your new son-in-law.
Is that so? Oh, does that mean we're going to get grandbabies soon? They look at Magpie.
Should I roll
I
the
was gonna
fake
say,
again?
you find out she's pregnant, and you smash cut to the dad just beating you with a limp hose.
Later.
Emmy will ask mom and dad if they would dismiss the guards for a moment.
With the amount of volume that the gnomes are putting into their exclamations and greetings, they both think that's a good idea too. So they kind of go out, excuse them. So
As soon as Emmy thinks the guards are out of earshot, she sort of stops, listens for their armor marching off, and
yes,
as soon as she can no longer hear them, she goes, "Okay, we have to keep it on the down low because there are less than savory characters who are after us. But
Dear,
Or,
did you get in any kind of trouble? What have you been doing while you've been gone?
well, for starters, your grandchild is also with us here." And she sort of puts her hand on her belly.
What? A baby already?
and Papa's like there in a millisecond with his face and his ear up against your belly.
I don't hear anything yet.
She shoots him away.
Stop that, Papa. You wouldn't be able to hear anything yet anyway.
What are how do mom and dad react to this? What are they doing? How are they
Not
taking it?
doing much. They're composed, but it's like that composure that you think about when there's like internal arguing and screaming just happening in their head.
Gotcha. But yeah, managed to get ourselves in some trouble with a group known as the Brotherhood of the Seven. I would prefer to keep the child as far away from them as possible.
Oh, well, that sounds like a good idea, dear. You should probably, if they're from around here, I bet you should go back to Shaw with Magpie. I'm sure he's not involved in any kind of nasty stuff with those higher ups that's been going on.
Just a very, very small squawk.
Emmy does not say anything to this. She figures it would be up to Magpie to say something if he wanted to.
Well, I mean, you're not right, Magpie. You're a respectable young man, I'm sure.
Our relationship cannot be built on lies. My full name is Shirayumo Rook. I am the third son of Ereminder and Thaddeus Rook.
You see their faces kind of their jovial gnome faces go kind of and then they both pull out sticks out of their bag and start,
why did you get our daughter involved in this, you stupid bird?
and
Emmy is actively trying to shoo them away, trying to stand between them and Magpie if possible.
Don't hit me in the arms. You'll set off the spring-loaded sheaths.
What are you doing getting involved in this thing? This whole thing that's going on?
Well, I don't really know what is going on with his family as of late, and I'm not sure he does either. But what's been happening here in Varese, I believe, is a bit more pressing at the moment. Mama, Papa, I've been putting a lot of thought into what to do with my child when he or she comes, but I think it best if for a period of time Magpie and I take care of some unfinished business to make sure that everything is safe for him. And
You hear a
trying to-
voice from where the portal opened saying, "I'm not sure that will be necessary." And this is a different voice coming from the same hobbit.
From the same hobbit?
And he kind of walks forward. Yes. Kind of walks forward. And as he does, his form seems to glimmer and change.
Oh boy.
And he's walking and he's saying, "I am here to inform those that are interested parties that Alceta, the welcomer, has taken an interest in this particular pregnancy."
I don't know
Alceta
what
the
that means.
welcomer.
Is that a person or a thing?
I got 2 knowledges that are worth trying. So we'll see what happens. That's 1. That's 2.
Nature gets you nothing.
I got a local,
But
if that helps.
Nope. So, but Alceta does ring a bell for you when you're thinking about the arcane. Alceta is called the Welcomer because she's a goddess of doorways and portals, thresholds, and the transition of year to year. And that's the basic information that you remember. The reason it rings true with you on that is because teleportation and movement are closely associated with her.
I mean, we'll look at the... What the teleportation wizard turn into? You said he was changing form.
He seems to be a bearded individual, not a super long beard, not a super short beard, average to a little tall. His cloak is up, his cloak hood is up. It's a sleeved cloak with garments beneath, robes beneath. Magpie, why don't you, well, you wouldn't even have to roll me a knowledge or roll me a information gathering type of roll, because you start to remember this guy looks familiar. This guy looks familiar because Alceta. This guy was the guy that you met on the road back from what was it, Thistletop. That strange encounter in the evening. You were on your way back, and you saw
right.
a campfire with yours mirrored.
The guy
And you went
I
over to
tried
check
to
it out.
read his mind and it screwed me up.
Wrong campaign.
And what exactly does this Alceta want with my child?
It appears that Alceta believes that your child will be one of great power and significance for her and her faith.
I'm a little confused as to what the child of a Kitsune and a Tengu has to do with the elven god of travel and protection.
I know, because I know what she is. But you guys don't.
Does Magpie say that out loud?
Did you just spoil the gender of the child?
Come on, man.
I can use whatever
whatever.
fucking pejorative I want. Get off my ass.
That's not your child. It's Emmy and the God's child.
I had nothing to do with it.
Hey, Joe, guess what?
Yeah.
So, do I happen to know if Alceta is a good god, evil god? What kind of god?
She's
Anything?
technically, from what you understand, to be lawful neutral. She has no particular leanings, good or bad.
Ah, lawful. Emmy's not particularly fond of that.
I mean, I don't feel like we really have a choice.
I would encourage you to hopefully be able to allow me to help with the child. You will find that within the next week, your body will have finished what it needs to finish for the second phase of what needs to happen.
And will we ever be able to see our child?
Oh,
I
I'm
mean-
quite sure.
And I'm not just long term.
I am sure that there will be things that could be worked out for such things to be allowed, such meetings.
Emmy is visibly distressed here.
He will say, "There's no need to make any kind of decision at the moment. As I said, by the end of the week, you will be ready. It has been seen."
Wait, what? When you say ready, you mean... And he, like, pantomimes having a big swollen belly.
For lack of a better demonstration, yes, my bird friend.
I'm rolling the percentile dice. Oh yeah, he's fucking out.
Oh dear, it looks like your boyfriend, husband is already on the ground.
The way I
Hopefully it
picture
wasn't
it is
such a
because
lightweight in the bedroom, says the dad.
so
Papa.
Emmy was holding his hand, to my understanding. So she just sort of falls down. She just sort of like hangs on, catches him, and just like pulls him back up, carries him, puts him on the nearest couch, someplace comfortable.
I will return day to day to check on your progress. Your health will be of great importance at this time and moment. Do take care of it. And he begins to fade.
For lack of anyone else to turn to,
Yeah,
What are
sorry.
you
Right?
talking about? You got two sets of
yeah, that's what I'm saying. She looks at her two different sets of parents, knowing that this is an elven god specifically. She looks to
It's not specifically an elven god, but it is
okay.
more common for that race than others.
Emmy will look at mom and dad and say, do you trust this stranger?
I'm not sure we have much of a choice, dear. If what he says is true, and what he has been saying has been coming true. Oh, gotta use the right accent. Then then it is inevitable that we trust him.
I'm sure
Alceta is a good goddess. Well, she is a lawful goddess. She would not do something that is particularly destructive.
Emmy sighs heavily. I'm sure it is much safer in the presence of a goddess than anywhere here.
Okay. We'll take a break from Emmy and Magpie. 3 more survival rolls to get the last part of Nahkräs's trip.
Alrighty, they're on their way. Boom, boom. We'll take it, I guess.
Oh man. So you got
Ah!
two 20s.
He's
You find
there.
2 more shortcuts.
He's in the room with us.
Yeah.
Just kind of turns the corner. What are you guys talking about?
So what happens is a couple days pass instead of an entire week. Like 2.5 days pass, and there's this call that comes for Emmy. And by this point, Emmy is rotund. She's like second trimester big.
Oh man, you're gonna have hella stretch marks.
And it's been
She
taking
needs to feel that
its
close
toll
to
on her
carry
body.
own weight.
Yeah,
Um,
Emmy has probably made sure to show off her new spell to her family before this happens.
They are quite impressed, both sets. The gnomes seem impressed because it's cool and new and really awesome. It's great, dear. How did you do that? And stuff. But from an academic standpoint, your mom and dad are, that is wonderful. How did you get the energies to flow just right between the positive and negative points, and so on and so forth?
She
But
probably doesn't exactly know how to answer. Something to do with
see,
checking an existing scroll and tweaking it, and
they kind of look, and your mother just says, "Well, if you had stayed here, dears, you could have answered that. But it's wonderful, this spell development." So there's a kind of like a jab, but a compliment
yeah.
masking the jab type thing that your elven parents are quite expective to do.
She
Like I
would
said, on
also
that third day, you've been
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's any more time, she wants to see if her family still has the ashes of Sycorax, the book, so that she could get a scroll of restoration and fix it.
I think you want make whole.
Oh yeah, make whole.
they're not sure they could get their hands on it right away.
Because I remember that they burned the book before, and she was gonna. That was one of the things that they wanted her to do was fix it, and she wasn't able to. That happened right before she left.
They'd have to look around. They've kept all your old stuff, but because
Okay.
elves don't get rid of anything. But like on that third day, there's a big ruckus out near the front gate, and long story short, someone gets knocked out and put in the stocks, for lack of a better word. They don't put them in literal stocks, but they throw them in the jail, and they're like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "I'm here to protect Emyrelda," and then so on and so forth, and it goes back and forth before word finally gets to Emmy that her rude orc is here with his ugly cat.
I can picture that conversation going back and forth in my head right now.
Yeah.
The sort of stubbornness one can only expect from an orc.
Emmy,
No, your mama's ugly. They talk about his cat.
she waddles down to the jail cell where he is.
Yeah, I'll go too. My mother's gonna kill me. I mean, if we had like 9 months, I could probably talk her down, but like a week, she's gonna pluck me.
That's a good choice of words. I like that. I'm going to use that for Tengus in the future.
I am so plucked.
She looks at Nahkräs in the jail cell, sort of shakes her head. I warned you.
Man, you made it here fast.
And I warned you by the green. How? Looks at Magpie.
Right?
Looks at how? What?
That's what I said.
Has it even been a week yet?
No!
How did this happen?
Fucking divine intervention, apparently.
What? Just
Well, actually, it's been more than a month, but you know.
Well, yeah, but like,
Yeah.
she wasn't showing the first month, and now it's.
she Mario's at. Boop, boop, boop.
Apparently the elven god of, or not elven god, apparently a, shoot, I should have wrote this down somewhere. The name of the god.
Alceta.
Alceta, thank you.
Alseta. There's not very much information
There we
about
go.
her, so you may
There's really not
dig
now.
if you want to.
Um,
Too bad, too.
Mm-hmm.
apparently Alceta has taken an interest in my Magpie and I's child.
Who is that? Is that your mother? Your cousin?
Questions I also asked. And you supposedly, well, not supposedly, it's definitely at this point, some sort of goddess of,
Travel,
yeah.
teleportation, the like.
Adorable. Well, when the despoilers come for your child, you won't need a god's protection. You will have mine. These bars, however, a bit of a problem.
Can we get him out of here?
Can
Like
we?
now? I'm not gonna lie to you. Either you let him out or I let him out.
Emmy looks to the guards, goes,
They look somewhat hesitant, but
I am a
they-
druid of the green. I shout for like the 50th time, probably.
they kind of spit to the side and say green like orcs,
I spit back.
but they confer with higher ups basically, and there are some strings pulled to allow him under your care and responsibility, Emmy, and your families to exit the jail in your custody.
Are we left alone with him at any point during that like transfer of information?
No, not until you leave.
Damn it.
so Emmy brings Nahkräs back to her house.
That you guys have kind of been quarantined off to mainly a certain room, a very large. It's a very large room with resting sofas and things like that, and then you have access to the facilities necessary. And then food has been kind of brought to you because you are kind of in an odd guest situation.
Yeah.
You do get the feeling that you've not been. It's not like you've been accepted back. It's like you were expected to come, and you got there and were taken to where you needed to be.
Hmm.
So you're not sure that this whole situation is good or bad for the standing of you and your family within this particular area.
So
But
Emmy is gonna turn to Mama and Papa, say, do you happen to know anything about this that you're not telling me? Maybe something related to mother and father.
Corvus.
oh, I don't know, dear. Your mama, as far as we know, your mother had nothing to do with this type of woobly doobly doo. And they do kind of look at each other and kind of they can whisper to each other as well as gnomes can whisper to each other.
I think that warrants a perception check or two. Because Emmy is very curious as to what they're saying.
Okay.
I'm hoping Magpie also makes a perception check, because his will be much better than mine.
I had to fact check my own RP. 25.
Okay. 25 is much better. Latin
Yes.
for Raven. Mal with 21. So they're not very good at whispering, as some might have guessed, though they are good at keeping secrets when they need to. They're saying, well, we shouldn't tell her. It's not our place to tell her. Whose place is it then? Mama, what do you think? She goes, yeah, it's not like her mom's going to come back and tell her. Well, that's very rude. Why you talk like that, Papa? Well, you know why I talk like that. She's not around nobody. You shouldn't say that. All right. We tell her. So they kind of look and they kind of go, now, dear, you have to understand that we didn't want to keep this information from you. All right? Your mother was a kitsune. You know this. This is not something new to you. But what might be surprising is that she found a lover in your father who was just a little bit more.
She continues to stare at them expectantly, waiting for more of a response.
A little bit more what?
He was not just your average kitsune. In fact, he wasn't a kitsune at all. We came to find out. He was an Agathian, a Vulpinal Agathian. For those
Excuse me.
wondering,
Well, I Google that.
There you go. It's right there.
I actually brought that up in the monster talk once, I think. If this is the right one.
You did. And that's when I decided that that's who your daddy was.
Ah.
Yes, Tommy has had that on his chest for 3 months.
And it's been very hard
Because
not to
he's
kill
also-
one in Lord the Caliber. Now it's fair game.
No, it's fair.
We've,
Well, that's
we've
also
run
in
into one of these
university.
before, but that was in a different game.
You know, I'm pretty sure that's a knowledge religion, and Emmy does not have that. She sort of looks at him and goes, what's I know what Vulpinal is, but what's an Agathian?
well, an Agathian is like these relatively good people, and they live in the plains, and they fight bad guys. Well, your dad was one of them. Your father was one of them. In fact, he was really good at what he did, which was fight evil outsiders. He was not a regular Vulpinol. He was good at it. And he did a good job with it. And your mother and him were just going to raise you and do you good and do you right, but he was fortunately taken. He went on an adventure and never returned. And your mother was heartbroken. She loved your father. And Mama kind of takes her hands and pulls you down and grabs your fox face and says, "She
A little
loved you,
tear
dear.
probably drops on her face.
She loved you, dear. Don't you ever doubt it. And your father will be here too, but he can't.
She is really, really sobbing. This whole time, I thought Father was some kind of monstrous fey creature. I didn't know what. Why didn't you just tell me?
Well, for a while we thought he might make it back, but months turned into years, and you kind of grew up on us and just got away from us.
She's a bit upset. She's happy to know that he is not a dark fae, but she is also very upset that they didn't just tell her this, because this seems like something that would be a wonderful thing to know. She doesn't really know what to think, so she just sort of goes back to the bed, lays down, sort of rolls over, turns her back to everyone.
As you experience that flood of emotion and you lay on the bed, you feel a kick in your belly. And make me a will save, everyone.
Everyone.
Will save.
I thought I was muted. Sorry about the typing.
Do I have to make one for Luvesi as well?
You can. Yes, she would need one because part of her. She's been sleeping on your belly a lot, by the way.
Are you including those in the room, or
Yeah, no,
I mean, you can make a
Everyone in
will
Freeze
save
need a
too,
will
but I
save
don't think you
now.
need it.
Oh, you don't think I need a will save?
I think
No,
you need the
a
biggest will save.
Everybody,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we'll save
Uh,
shit.
Do I get some
Three.
kind of bonus to this because I've probably like birthed animals before, or like been present at the
No.
birthing? Oh, even worse.
23, 12, 11, and what from Magpie?
It's
13.
in there. 13.
Oh, 13. You all feel a wave of calmness wash over you, and for just a brief moment, about 6 seconds worth, you feel your emotions calmed, and a moment of peace happens in the room.
I mean, I don't know. Would we have talked about baby names off screen at some point during these days?
Well, I mean, I gave you my 2
Yes,
recommendations.
Huh?
I gave you my 2 recommendations.
Yes. I was just wondering if that has happened in game or if that was just out of game so far.
That would have happened in game, I'm sure. Baby names
Okay.
would have been one of the things that Mama and Papa would have been like discussing for who knows
Okay.
how long, like almost after you told them. Probably.
Emmy sort of rolls back around, looks at Magpie, goes, "You picked some good names."
Well, I've been thinking about it for a while, honestly. Not about us specifically, but, you know, in general.
Make me a perception check, Nahkräs, as you watch Magpie.
Alrighty. Boom.
You were around him for a while, and it's a bit odd, but you'd almost swear that he has a bit more shimmer in his feathers.
Okay.
They actually seem to have a little bit of a, when the light hits them just right, it's almost like they have a rainbow hue inside them somewhere.
All right.
It's the
Well, I
pride.
had calm emotions cast on me, so I'm going to continue sitting on my butt and eating random meat from my backpack. You are shiny.
Okay.
I think this is elk. Nope, buffalo.
All right.
No, you're all wrong. Bison.
Thinks about shouting about how delicious elves are and then realizes he's already in hot water because he's got calm emotion on him and he thinks better of it for the first time in his life.
All right. So
Cannibal.
the group is visited at least once a day by this person in the green cloak.
Knowing this person in the green cloak is a follower of a powerful goddess, Emmy will ask, now that she knows about her father, if he knows anything as to what might have happened to him.
He'd mainly stick to taking care of you, and he does. When he comes, you always feel better after he's gone. He seems to cast, as you watch him, you're a magic user, so you can kind of tell. He seems to cast both divine and arcane magic.
Interesting.
Because his teleporting is definitely arcane in its nature, but his healing that he's doing with you is a strange kind of divine.
More similar to what
And-
Gideon does than to what her and Mazus do.
You're not sure. It'd take an arcane check to really get a good beat on him, but you do know he's casting both types of spells. In fact, Nahkräs would know it too, since he uses magic.
And so Nahkräs will whip out a knowledge nature check.
Okay.
I suppose I can try the knowledge arcana, see how that goes.
Okay. Y'all's checks know that there's several groups of people that are able to, there's a few groups of people that are able to cast both divine and arcane spells. Thurges are known to do it, mystic Thurges, but outside of that, you're not particularly sure. It really depends on how a person specializes. You're not sure that this person is specialized in anything with the way he behaves and the way his mannerisms are. He's really hard to get a beat on. When you
Gotcha.
ask about your father, he says, he simply becomes very solemn and says, "It's best not to discuss things that will upset you, dear. Do try to rest."
Well,
He
will
was
you tell me
supposed
when
to
this is all
save
done?
the Force, not destroy it.
She's got Anakin in her belly. That's what the problem is.
Will you tell me when this is all done?
I don't think that's a good idea yet either. We'll discuss it I'm sure we'll have further interactions. I will see you again tomorrow. It will be time then. And he turns, opens a door that wasn't there before, and leaves.
So that means she's making sure she's got people who know what they're doing, like on hand. Like, this is happening tomorrow. We got to be ready.
All right. And you have been slowly declining in your personal physical health as those times have gone on, even with his care. Anyway, the full moon rises the next night. Stars are bright, brighter than you think they've ever been. And as you're out looking with Magpie over the stars, you feel a bit of a pain, and it begins. So,
What? Uh-oh!
What's happening?
Nahkräs will, without any further talk,
back.
scoop Emmy up and take her to the nearest bed and roll my terrible heal check to begin doing what needs to be done. I didn't put ranks in
Okay.
this because we had people who could cast with positive energy, and I didn't know I'd be delivering a baby this campaign. Here we go.
Get
Actually,
away from my wife's vagina!
I'm going to use my hero point. We're close enough to level.
No, we're not.
I believe in us. We're close enough to level by
Um,
Black Dragon Gaming standards. We just need to go fight some giants. We'll be fine.
You're about to find some giants, so you'll be
Uh,
possibly fine. All right, that plus the hero point.
that's
Okay.
that's with the hero point. It's a 2,
Oh.
and then I added the 8 from the hero point.
Okay. Surprisingly, Nahkräs is a pretty good midwife. Um,
Yes, I did it.
the person that has been coming back and forth does show up, but he does not intervene. He waits and lets Nahkräs move back and forth, do the things he needs to do. Magpie is up there with you, I'm sure, if he hasn't fainted yet.
No, not yet.
Saying, "Push, hush, hush."
Hush!
Oh,
Things
shut up! And she throws
Things
something
never-
across the room.
Yes, shut up. This is difficult work.
Emmy gets up and walks around some, comes and sits back down. She paces a bit, like normal childbirth would go. And she goes back and forth and moves and sits back down and gets back up and
Wait, Emmy's
she's
pacing?
restless. Yeah. In animals and humans used to, when they delivered, would walk and move around. They didn't
Oh,
lay
gotcha.
down. So
Still do to a certain extent, depending on your personal perspectives on labor and birth.
it's usually a good idea as the pressure from the head helps the cervix start. Medical stuff.
I personally
Um,
really like that I have medical guys in my D&D group now, because that means when I start torturing people and stuff, we'll know exactly what happens.
The splanktic
Yes, I'm going to.
As a guy who wants to go into the ER, only 2 things really scare me in life: pregnant women and kids.
Yeah.
And they somehow come together, which is even worse.
There's some bizarre connection they're related.
Weird. Like some kind of bond between them.
I think it doesn't work in the
But
maternity ward.
the birth actually seems to go well. And you give birth to an egg.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
What? How?
Hold it!
Sets it down on a pillow where it will not.
Wow,
shatter.
he's even bigger than I was when I was born.
So now what? Do I sit on it?
All right, I'm gonna try a knowledge nature check to figure out what the hell is going on and what the hell I just gave birth to.
A Tengu.
Assisted in the birth of, didn't give
Yeah.
birth.
Yeah, don't say that to Emmy. Don't say that to Emmy. She will
And I
rip
get
your
fireball.
freaking head.
Yeah, that burning arc will miss me and hit you.
You've never seen a wolf or a fox or any canine give birth to an egg before. You have no idea what's going on.
She's a platypus.
Today in D&D, the upright fox laid an egg.
It's like a bad fairy
No
tale.
Emmy
dragons?
has no idea.
No dungeons entered.
Emyrelda,
Don't worry.
I think you should sit on this.
Yes.
What is going on? And just like that's it.
Yes.
No. Magpie has to sit on it.
That's true. I have the softer body adornments.
Those brittle bones won't
Well,
shatter.
plus,
You guys
It-
got to
it-
patch it carefully between
works.
you. Don't drop it in a snowdrift.
He's got like a real weird Slavic squat thing going on.
He needs to be singing and not dancing. This is important to birds.
I mean,
It's like, Meg is like propped up in between his toes.
he looks to the mysterious hooded teleportation stranger, hoping that he can explain what the hell just happened.
He simply smiles and says, "Well done. Keep the egg close to both of you and return to your friends. It will not be safe here for the child. Strange events are on their way, and it would be best if the egg is kept with its parents, as it is tied to your life force, and its growth is not yet finished."
So is this a deal like a lot of reptiles where the sex of the baby is determined by the ambient temperature of its surroundings?
You don't know.
I don't know if that works with birds also.
No, I don't believe so.
not important.
Magpie can try and stack the odds.
Emi probably tosses the nearest thing at the teleportation guy, whatever that happens to be. That's not the egg, the nearest inanimate object.
Okay. You try to toss that at him. It gets close to him, but it stops in midair and floats slowly back to where it's supposed to be.
She stomps her foot a little bit, and then she calms down, realizing what's going on, and is she healed up at this point, by the way?
He would.
I can throw a lot
kind
of
wave-
restoration and cure light wounds at her, and probably have
Yeah.
been this whole time.
Yeah. So, but Nahkräs mainly handles the restoration bits, as you did lose some of your statistics mechanically as you were going through this period. But coming back, the restoration is helping, and your child was born on Abadias the 26th, which was a full moon.
That's going to be important.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely not writing that down right now.
And that happened at night. The 27th, you actually feel good. You feel really good. It seems like the hooded figure hadn't left your room at that point. You fell asleep just fine, and it's like whenever you hold the egg, it's like all the pain and stuff was worth it, because it was rough.
Yeah, I'm sure. You
Now,
said
is this
20. What
this
of
a green-
Abadias? I'm writing it down.
26.
26th of Abadias, which
I was
is
close.
a full moon.
Now, are the spots on the eggs green, yellow, or purple?
We need to
Roll
know
me
what
a
kind of Yoshi this
D100.
is. Quick,
I
go
need a
fetch a
D100.
melon or grapes or pineapple.
70.
70.
Mhm.
So
On the nose.
it has a bunch of different colors. It's kind of rainbow colored, and the top is the lighter colors, and as you get down towards the base, it has the darker colors. No darker than a kind of deep purple, though, and no lighter than a very bright sunshiny yellow. And they stretch up in the same way that
Ooh.
feathers might.
If Emyrelda just gave birth to a Simurgh, I'm gonna be very confused.
Oh, what?
It's a multicolored flying wolf from Iranian mythology.
Ah,
That's awesome.
I know what it is, and I will not tell nor give hints.
at least no more hints than would naturally be there.
Yes. All right. And the strange thing is, the very next day, like I said, you feel great. Stranger hadn't
Yeah.
left, and he kind of set you up, gets all three of you and your war cat, which seems strangely okay with him. By the way, Nahkräs.
Okay.
He gets you all together, and he says, "I'm very glad to have met you and made our initial contact with one another. I'm sure I will see you in the future. For now, please do take care of the child, and be careful on your adventures. Your friends will protect you." And the child is watched over by Alceta herself. He waves his hand goodbye to you, and as he disappears, so does all the rest of the scenery. And you kind of look around, and you're on this boat that's pulling into a little kind of trade town. You know, look up beside you. There's Gideon looking over the side of the boat at the little trade town, saying, "There it is."
We took the wagon.
You took the wagon? No, you
Yeah.
didn't.
The wagon is
Okay.
on the side of the river, following along the road.
Yeah, we wanted the wagon with us. So either
Well,
you
you didn't make that
you
clear.
put that wagon on that boat, or we're not on that boat.
Well, I could do this. You are on the boat, and you see at the dock, pulling into the town of what we know to be Turtleback, a very familiar wagon.
Aha!
How about
Which
that?
which means that we made the
Compromise
travel
found.
without perishing.
Well, as you guys get off and you kind of make contact with each other, Mazus, Wayko, Aaron, Meg, and Gideon all say, "You won't believe what happened to us on the way here." Well, you probably will, but that's for next time.
Gideon will also hand over the 750 gold for each Nahkräs, Magpie, and Emmy.
There you go.
All right.
Duly noted.
There you go. Everybody's back together. The child is sufficiently protected, and the game can continue.
Yay!
Okie dokie. That was a. It won't be long once we edit it, but thank you, travelers, for watching. That is the end of this particular episode or session 40. We hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, does anyone else have any kind of thing they would like to say before we close out today?
We've got a fucking egg.
Yeah, you gotta walk it.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. If your wife lays an egg, don't let her sit on it. There's
Unless-
rhyme there somewhere.
Unless your wife is a bird.
Yeah.
Well,
This is of
just-
course a
just goes to-
scenario where the
That's
dad-
why I'm doing it.
Just goes to show we have a Tengu and we have a griffin. Both are egg-bearing species, and yeah.
make one hell of an omelet.
I mean, I'm pretty sure griffins give. Isn't the back half of them a lion?
Waco's gonna marry your
Yes,
griffin.
but they lay eggs most of the
Oh
time.
yeah. That's right, they do. And they go for like 200 gold apiece. Bear that in mind.
Yep.
What if the mayor lays an egg?
It goes for 200 gold apiece. Bear it in mind.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Thank you,
Wow.
travelers. We're glad you watched. What did you have to say? Something?
Just wow. That's all I can say. Just wow.
Wow. You were not expecting what came out. I understand. All right. Thank you, travelers, for watching again. We hope you enjoyed the session. As always, have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.